The club's strong belief in teamwork hasn't changed over the years, and neither has the Forest badge. Meet David Lewis, who came up with the design in 1973 for a competition and then collaborated with the club to co-create a crest that fans still hold dear today.
I'm a Forest supporter, but also I designed the badge, the club badge, which they refer to as a crest. That now has been in place 50 years or so. Because this is more than just a company promoting itself. This is like the identity of a community, a group, a sort of, they've got supporters. I know supporters who are fanatical about them. The challenges, as I saw them, for designing an identity for a football club, a major football club, a very old football club, a well-established football club. In Britain, the idea of a football club is rooted. It's rooted. It grew out of the people of the city or the town. My thinking went down this weird track of thinking, well, in a way, these football supporters, in their sort of basic tribal instincts, are sort of following, if not their badge at the moment, then they're following something, and they need something that they can empathise with, is easy to identify, easy to recognise, but is made up of elements with which they have a sense of identity. Hopefully allow them to sort of unite with the club and the players. It'll never replace, the badge can never replace the belief that the fans have in the club, the affection that they have, the sense of belonging and history. It can never replace all of those things, or any of those things. Football club, Forest, tree, in some form or other. I was aware of Sherwood Forest, I was aware of the major oak and things and the importance. The city ground is perched on the edge of the Trent. It's on the banks of the Trent, so you can't ignore the Trent and the water that's flowing along it. So I started working with just those two elements, the idea of a tree, the idea of water, and the word forest. More spiritual things started to form in my thinking. A tree, growth, perpetuity, it's forever. So there's a longevity as well as a life to that. And what's it dependent on? Well, largely on water. So then you've got this notion of continuity of life in sort of visual language terms. Was the water feeding up into the tree, going round the tree and coming back down into the water? And I started working on a number of things then with the club. It then became more like a proper design commission or design project for the latter stages. And that's when we refined the water to make it more rhythmical. It's a vaguely soft triangular shape on the canopy, which provides a sort of loose umbrella protective thing. Originally it was almost rectangular, and so that was refined. And then the big thing was the word forest. Rather than the original version for the competition, which was just the word, I decided that, and the club were in agreement, the word needed to be unique to forest. And that's when I developed the idea that we'd have a mixture of capital and lowercase letters. And subsequently, we also introduced a tail onto the R in the middle of it, which again, like the water and the tree, started to give a bit of movement to the whole thing. The number of things the badge has been used to adorn. Virtually as soon as it was commissioned, the club had the most successful period in its history. And so I think as a consequence, indirectly, the badge also became associated with success. Well, it's odd, isn't it? If the badge is now, you can talk about the good old days, but 50 years ago is quite a long time. But, nearly that long ago, the club was extraordinarily successful. And I think that was probably a really big element in persuading supporters this is our badge.
Connections, community, teamwork, family. Forest's strength and resilience have always been rooted in togetherness and the magic that happens when people collaborate.